Hi, my name is Cheri and this is my stamp studio, and I have a super cute little Halloween card that I'm going to show to you today. I know I have a series that is on candy packaging, and I'm going to return to that. In fact, as soon as I'm done filming this, I'm going to create a couple of more projects with that. But it's been a busy week. We've had a in-person demonstrator event. I started to say in-line because we have the online one coming up. So juggling all of the other events with my videos is always a challenge. So I'm taking a little break from some of the computer stuff that I was doing, and I'm gonna film this, and then I'm going to create and hopefully film after that. So I say that I'm going to put some candy projects up, but I haven't yet created them, so that'll be fun. I'm going to do a project out of the holiday catalog. If you don't have this yet, then comment below and I'd be happy to send you one. In fact, there's a couple of you that have commented on other videos and have yet to give me your address. So if you still need that catalog, let me know and I'd be happy to send you one. Today I am using the Monster Bash suite. I'm not going to use all the pieces of it. But I'm going to use the stamps and the dies. So here's the suite, if you've not seen the catalog. I'm going to use the little stamps and then the dies. And here's the funny story. I don't usually tend to get a lot of the Halloween stuff. So on this page, when my first order came, all I got were the frames, because the little die frames, they're not Halloween at all, and they're spectacularly beautiful. They're just shapes and really pretty filigree frames and little tags. So I thought, well, I'll get those because I can use those all year round on everything and make really cute little things for the fronts of your cards and for tags. And then as time progressed, well, my daughter, she saw the stamp set and she's like, why didn't you get the bundle? Because you know, when you buy a bundle, you save 10%. And then after I used the frames, I'm like, yeah, I really need the stamp set. So it's all I have on the page. I don't have any of the rest of it. I don't have the ribbon, which I might have used the ribbon if I'd had it, and I might have used the embossing folder. But it just goes to show you don't have to have everything. Sometimes we want everything, but we don't have to have everything. So I am going to use the stamps, and here's the stamps, and you can see the one little framelit that I'm going to use today. It cuts out these. And then there's other shapes that do other things. So have a look on the catalog. Normally I put all of them on my website when I post the video. I'm not going to do that for this one. Just going to tell you up front, I have too many things going on to take that picture, but I will in the next week, like next week when I get all of my other class things. But I didn't get the paper, but my girlfriend got the paper. My girlfriend who created these are our event bags. So the girls who came to our event on Saturday, I know you're not going to be able to see the whole thing because of the way my video is, but they were in different colors. I got the crushed curry, so I'm going to stand up here so you know that this stays in view when I edit later. But she got the paper, and then everybody's name tags for the event. We actually used the Let It Snow to make our buttons. But for my little one, I did use the monster paper, and then I'm like, oh, do I really need the paper? And I thought, well, I'll just stamp her. And she's not a stamp. She's only on the, let me turn my light on. At least I don't have this one on. There you go. Now you can maybe see it better. It's a sunny day out, and sometimes I don't realize that my lights aren't on. But we did these little name tag pins, and you can write the Sharpies on them. The other little thing that my daughter covered, we have miniature ones, she covered her jean jacket in the tiny little Halloween pins. Adorable. And Tanya will have them for sale. As well as the bags. But if you're attending our event in Lansing, or the girls still doing the online event, we're putting their packets together this week, you get the bags. But with the little pins, we thought this would be really fun to do the advent boxes, either if you're doing a Halloween version, or, oh, well, here's the little pin. They're this size. This is just a bone folder, so you can tell mine from other people's. But the little pins are this size. So the tiny little Halloween paper is absolutely adorable as a little pin. So Tanya does have those for sale. Not quite yet. I don't think she's got the Halloween ones up on her website yet. But they're the Halloween paper, perfectly adorable in that. So, you know, I told myself I didn't need any of it, and as time progresses, I'm getting more and more of it. So let's get to the project. Here's the fun colors that I picked, black and red. And I'll show you at the end how the colors came about. So I'm just going to fold this in half. To have a sheet of basic black cardstock, and I'm using grid paper, which I don't often use something here because I like to show my table on my videos instead of the grid paper. But I'm stamping on some window sheet. And sometimes it's hard to see the window sheet on the table. I'm going to use StazOn because I'm using two very different inks today, no normal ink. But sometimes the window sheet's hard to see. So I've just cut it to size, and it comes with this little backing, and I like to leave the backing on it until I'm actually done because, like I said, it's easy to just disappear. So this is StazOn ink, and it's flash drying, and it's a little bit, our little vampire dude is kind of solid right here, and he's a little bit hard to get inked everywhere. Not on cardstock, but just on the window sheet. So get him inked up the best you can. Ink him really well. And then remember that your window sheet is slippery. So stamp straight down and then don't move, but make sure you press hard so you get everywhere. But it's not like a window sheet's the most expensive thing in the world, so if it doesn't get everywhere. And then you can, you know, just lift it up and pull it off because it sticks. Don't pull because it can smatter. But you can see the way that the black gets on there, it kind of smudgy. We're going to fix that. And then I need another one. And this is shimmer white. And on this I could use just regular black, but since I already have my StazOn pad open, we'll just go with it. Hopefully I hit that right. I was not looking. Yeah, it's good. And that one's not stamped great either because I wasn't paying attention, but it's a to go over the top, so it will work. Then we need, I'm going to need another little black piece later, but I'm going to get it in a minute. Then on this one, I'm going to take my craft white, and this is an old one. And it's just white ink. So it's a little bit thicker than our regular ink because it takes longer to dry. And then these, I haven't put the labels on my stamps. I'm just going to make my own little background paper because, like I said, I don't have the paper that goes with this. So I'm just going to make my own. So I'm just going to fill up the back with these fun little potion bottles. One has bones, one has a frog, and one has a spider. This is a fun little monster set. They're not scary. So if your kids watch any kind of Disney things, it's not any scarier than that. In fact, this whole set reminds me of the Haunted Mansion, the Victorian style, especially of the die cuts at Disney or Disneyland. I thought about doing, we have some fun. We've been to Disney for Halloween, which is one of my favorite times to go. Excuse me, buddy, I don't need any assistance. It's one of my favorite times to go to Disney. And so if you go at Disney and you go to one of the Disney Halloween parties, then the Haunted Mansion is one of the places that they really do up. So we have some fun pictures from that. So I thought this might be a fun little scrapbook kind of thing, or even a little picture to put next to a framed photo of that. Okay, now with this, I have already stamped one because it's almost dry. It's dry everywhere except where this ink is solid because that's a lot of ink right there. It took maybe 5 minutes for it to dry, and I don't want you to sit here and wait 5 minutes. So here's another one, and you can see it's stamped almost exactly the same where it had those black blotches. So really, no matter what you do, it's going to do that. So I'm going to leave that one aside to dry. And then this one, I have these, and I'm going to color on the back. You can color on the back with blends. I still keep my little paper, and I just flip it over because, again, they're so easy to lose. And I have two colors, black and red, and they're the darks of both. I'm going to take my bullet tip, and this is on the back side, and everywhere where this didn't stamp black, I'm just going to put it back. So all those little blotches are just going to disappear. So it didn't matter that it was blotchy. You just want to make sure that all of your lines turned out well, and all of those stamped perfectly well. It's just because the ink kind of wells up on that giant solid image. On anything slippery like that, it's a challenge. So I'm going to do one little coat here, and then let that dry. And then I'm going to take my red and just go around the frame. Here. And this is the dark, but because it's see-through, on the window, it looks a little lighter. But the way we're going to do that is we're going to give it 2 coats. And once one coat's dry and you add the second coat on both the black and the red, both of them get darker. And you could keep going, but 2's plenty dark enough. In fact, 1 would be fine. I want mine to be a little Halloween dark. And then he has on a little shirt right here. So I'm going to leave his collar white and add his little bow tie red. He also has a little lightning bolt in his hair. He's just, oh, he's so cute. As is my helper. Branson, what are you doing? If you watch my videos a lot, you know my cats are named Branson and Sybil. And their namesakes are from Downton Abbey. And that movie comes out, I think, this week. Go, bud. Go. Thankfully he didn't step on the wet blends. And this takes, again, it dries faster than this stays on, because there's not quite as much of it. But it does, again, take a second to dry, because it's on shiny stuff. If anything that's going in paper, there's a porous surface, and the window sheet isn't porous. So you just have to let the air dry your ink. Branson, get down. Sorry, you can't see anything but cat. Get down. We've been so busy. Well, I've been so busy. And you work from home and then you do events and you're not home for days on end, and we haven't been outside. And they only go outside when I go outside, so they're feeling kind of neglected. Okay, now I'm going to run this stuff through the Big Shot, or the die cutting machine. I do pretty good with my terminology. Oh, I forgot to color his face, because if you've watched Twilight, or you know anything about vampires, you know they're shimmery. So I'm going to take this again on the back side, and this is a Wink of Stella. I knew one of them had more in it than the other. This is the one that has more, but I couldn't tell before I did it. And just add some everywhere. You can go over the top of it, because on the back side you're not going to see it, except for over his eyeballs, because I don't want his eyes to be shimmery. And then get his little hands, because all of his skin's going to be shimmery. Both of these must be. I took a couple of my Wink of Stella's to the event on Saturday, and I've not unpacked everything because we still have to do the video portion for our online event. So here, this will work. And this is actually what I did on the first one. This is not the regular, this is the frost white, so he's going to be a little bit whiter than just a Wink of Stella. So now I want to make sure I don't paint on the, I guess I could, but not in his eyeballs, because I don't want him to have white eyes, but now he's going to be a white vampire. And this is just the shimmer white paint. And again, because it's on the back side, the ink on the other side is going to show, so it doesn't matter if you're going over. You don't want to go over too much. But it also makes his clothes be a different color than his skin. I'll just set this to dry just for a second. And this dries actually faster than any of the other inks. And then if you use a Wink of Stella, and you put the lid back on, you can keep using those with your shimmer paints. Now we'll get the die cut machine. And I have a piece of black foil. So we'll do these 2 pieces first. It's a really pretty filigree frame. And there's a little piece that cuts out him. And this one I'm not going to color at all. It's just to be a backing piece, because the window sheet over the black would lose a lot of its, you wouldn't be able to see the lines quite as well without the thing underneath. I did find that the frame on my machine takes about 2 times to go through, just twice. That helps get those extra little pieces out. And I was going to say before you move it, you might want to check it, but mine moved on its own. Yeah, that's fine. So pop those out. There's this little guy. And then again, we'll get it on this. Go ahead and move that. No. What I'm going to do, because sometimes if you live anywhere where you can see I've got a little bit of static in the house, I'm going to lay this over the top. That way when it smashes through, the static that's in your Big Shot or on your plates isn't going to stick to your window sheet. It's going to, the little piece of tissue will protect it. So just one pass on that is plenty. And now we're almost done. The best part's still to come. So we've got this. Pop him out. And see that just having that little piece there, it's helpful because he's stamped on. But sometimes, especially if you're doing an event or when I have a camp or a class, and this is one of my September camp projects, but sometimes when you have something and people are working with the window sheet, it's so easy for it to get misplaced because it's invisible. So we're going to put this here. And then I'm going to take a piece. This is just all the pieces of, you know, when you cut a lot of cardstock, you end up with these skinny little pieces. So I'm going to take my bone folder. And I just want to have, didn't want to get another folder out. Like I said, if I had the folder that went with this suite, I might have. But I didn't want a flat piece of cardstock either. So this is literally just scrap that a lot of times we might throw away. And I'm just going to break the fibers down just to get another texture because the flat on the glitter paper was just too flat. Like there's too many things going on this card to just put a flat piece of white cardstock. So just pull it on your bone folder. And when you get enough of it broken down, got white ink on my fingers and black ink. Got a little bit of both. Just pull it apart. Get that little piece I didn't get all the way to the end. Where it separates, you can just kind of, one side might tear better than the other if you're doing it and not talking. Well, it got pretty good. So you can see this is going to be my wasted piece, and then this will be a better piece, and it just gives a nice texture to it. That's a little different than just sticking a piece of white plain cardstock. So I'm going to stick this on here, and I just wanted it a little bit longer than my regular adhesive. Here it is, right in front of me. So put this one here. So this is about 2 inches by 4 1/4. And then again with this, and I might not have any scissors on my table because I did this over at my guillotine, and all of my scissors may still be packed from Saturday. That's what happens when you just want to stamp and you don't want to unpack. Well, some of my stuff I can't unpack because we're filming it not in my house. So I'm just going to use some old orange scissors instead of my pretty snips. There we go. So now instead of having the flat white, I have some texture to that. And then get these last little things out that didn't fall out. And sometimes in some of our things, I leave them in, just leave some things in and some things out to give a little dimension to them. These you want them all out because this filigree is really pretty. And this is the part that really reminds me of the vintage Victorian feel of the Haunted Mansion. Sometimes I think it's like on HGTV or one of those stations around October, they do a special on the Haunted Mansion. You know, if you've been to Disney, either of them, that ride has been around for ages. And so they talk about, I think at Disneyland, they do a little bit different, either at Christmas or at Halloween, but definitely at Disney World. I've been to both, but I've been to Disneyland at Christmas. I've been to both of them at Christmas, I guess. It's been a minute since I've been to Disneyland. So I'm going to put this on here. It can be a little bit tricky to get the snail on the foil. Sometimes it resists. So here's a tip. Don't put it on the foil. Put it where you're going to put it. Mount it instead. Because sometimes people just keep trying and it just keeps resisting. So put this on here and you can see how pretty the filigree is. And that was what I wanted, a little bit of a white background. You can still see it on the red, but you really see it on the white. Get my StazOn back out. And there's a little stamp that says spooky. I thought about putting some white tulle ribbon on this, but without the ribbon, it's really a versatile card. It could go to a boy or a girl, a man or a woman, anything. October birthdays, Halloween parties, invitations. now we've got this on here. And then I'm going to stick, again, the foil's hard to stick to. So stick this onto here. There we go. And then you're going to take this piece, maybe if I can pick it up. Now you can finally take this off. And then another new fun thing out of the holiday catalog, which this project wouldn't even have worked if we didn't have these. These are new dimensionals, and you may think, well, they look just like dimensionals. And they are dimensionals, but they're black, solid black. So stick one here, right where he's got the biggest little chunk of black on his outfit. And take the top off, and you can see, I'll show you one. See the dimensional solid black. Black on top, black through the middle, black on the bottom. And then we want another one right kind of catty corner. I didn't do it right exactly on top. And then you want to take this guy. Even with all that protection, he still has a little bit of stuff on him. And then you're just going to mount him on top. So there's not a whole lot holding him in there, but there's enough because that's what you want. You want that little effect of him looking at you, see? Because it gives a little bit of a 3D, and as you move the card, his eyes have a little bit of I'm looking at you. Get all this cleaned up there, and then you can take your Wink of Stella. Maybe this is the one that has a tiny bit in it, yeah. And then I just added some to the things that were in the jars. Just kind of lighten up the black cardstock a little bit, and it gives it a really fun Halloween October feel. I knew when I did this on my card that it was running low, and then I laid it down and there was 2 on the table. So this, both of them, I think they were running low. And I hated to open a new one because, you know, sometimes when you first open a Wink of Stella and you give that one squeeze and then you get like a ton of it, and I didn't want any of these to have like that massive drop that you first get sometimes with the Wink of Stella. So there we go. Now we have a little bit of glitter. I just wanted the white. The white also takes a minute to dry, and I didn't want to smear it. So there we go, all finished. So again, you can kind of see, and I will put some up close pictures of him on my website, but it does give you that kind of 3D, I'm looking at you. It kind of makes it look a little glass, even though it's just window sheet paper. And the way I came up with it for our event, these are Hearth and Hand from Joanna Gaines, candles from Target, and I had just made one of those for our event. We had a Christmas, a fall, and then the Halloween candle. They were all just decorated so you could just pull this piece off as the season progressed and change to the next season. So I will show you the fall one. The Christmas one was not mine, that was my friend's. So that was how I came up with the color combination, because I had the red candle on the red enamelware, and so I wanted to work with the red. But there you go, super cute. So I hope that I didn't make you feel like you need the monsters if they weren't already on your list. But hey, if you get them, I promise you, you will love them because they're so super cute. I mean, how stinking cute is this? So everybody have a great day. Bye.